D-Man show, D-Man show, fuck these bitches, it's the D-Man show. Peace out, motherfuckers. Go, Johnny. Go, Mark. Go, Matt.
Well, hi everybody, we got quite a selection of videos actually here today. Only got YouTube videos to work in this thing. So you guys want to watch the first video?
Just jumping straight in at the deep end, eh?
Yeah.
Go for it. Well, we've still got Martin.
This is Flat Earth and Christian versus Atheist Hypocrisy.
Oh, I'm excited.
Oh yeah, prepare yourself for brilliance.
Oh, it's just gonna be fucking scintillating.
Oh, drum roll. There's a drum roll. Sounded more like Bill Crosby orgasm. There.
Oh.
Man, you know, this guy has such a cadence, a charisma to him. You know, he's just so entertaining to listen to. I almost fell asleep.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Don't worry. His next video is so much better. He actually has someone on there entertaining.
Yeah, what's more entertaining than watching fucking paint dry? I guess he's the next best thing.
Wow. Yeah.
This is fucking fantastic. This is brilliant. Well, just listen to this. Silence.
I don't even know what he's saying yet. He's like, Christian, flat Earth theory, blah, blah, blah.
Wait,
I don't know.
is the video showing up? The video's not showing up for me.
Yeah, I don't have a video.
You don't have a,
I've got a fact though. While we wait, on this day in 1540, King Henry VIII married his fourth wife, Anne of Cleves. There you go.
Well, fun fact for the day. Well,
can you guys see the video now?
Nope.
God damn it. I mean, can you guys hear the video?
Oh.
Oh wow. It says you're presenting to everyone.
Can you guys see the video now?
No, but I can see that it says you're presenting something. There's a little clicky thing I want to click.
Well, click on it, you moron.
I'm clicking. Can you not hear the clicking? This is me clicking.
I've clicked on it, but nothing's showing up apart from your profile picture.
Oh wow! Ooh. Oh, exciting! I found a new button.
Found a new button. Wow.
Hang on, I'm gonna allow.
Wow.
A new button. What happened? Did something happen? Am I Hysteria now? Hey everybody, welcome to Hysteria. You're joining us already on a live broadcast. I'm not sure what's going on. I just found a button and clicked it. Am I broadcasting? What did I do?
Right.
Okay, whatever. Oh, it needs my permission. It said something about my permission.
Oh, what a way to start the show.
Continue. Oh, god damn it. Yeah. Please stay tuned, audience. We appear to be having technical difficulties. Nobody knows what the next screen will look like where something's actually happening, so I can't tell you to skip ahead until you find said screen. Deal with it. In the meantime, anybody got anything else to say?
Yeah, Halo Reach is the best. Halos. Not debatable, no debate. Halo Reach is the best Halos. It's the best of all Halos.
I honestly haven't had a chance to play Halo Reach yet, but I very much enjoyed Halo 3.
Oh, You're one of those Halo 3 guys.
Only because I was so fucking good at it at the time, you know. We quickly went over onto Call of Duty, and then sadly, after a failed connection one too many times, I kind of gave up with the whole gaming scene. To be honest, if you don't have reliable internet, there's really no point in trying, is there? Let's be honest. Anyway,
Yep,
so recently I got into an argument with a Paul's Ego fan, and
oh,
yeah, I'd just like to apologise to Paul's Ego for apparently making him want to commit suicide or something.
what's
I'm pretty sure. I hope he
meant
was being sarcastic. Well, I just told him, basically, he was felching the shit out of Devon Tracy, right? So Paul's Ego had his tongue so far up Devon Tracy's bumhole.
Really? What way?
Because obviously Devon has got quite bored of his sycophantic fans that all just act like shadow clones of himself. So he decided to branch out. You know, Paul's Ego is obviously getting a bit of notoriety, a bit of attention. So it appeared, this all happened on Twitter, by the way, guys. It appeared that he was trying to lure Paul's Ego into his way of thinking. Now, first thing I'd like to point out is that obviously it's got nothing to do with me what Paul's Ego or Devon do with their lives. But personally, from a fan's perspective, it was heartbreaking because I watch Paul for something entirely different from what I would expect from Devon. You know.
Wait, since when was Paul like some sort of supporter of Devon Tracy?
Exactly. I mean, he's always stayed quite quiet on the subject, hasn't he? Which said to me, I respected him for staying out of it when the whole thing was going on between TJ and Devon. Paul very rarely said anything, and I got a lot more respect for Paul because he kept his own thoughts out of the equation. You know what I mean? He wasn't violent supporter one way or the other. So it was sad for me to see, and I happened to tweet out saying losing respect for Paul in 3-2 ... Because the way the conversation was going, I genuinely just felt like Paul is just going to become another flying monkey. You know what I mean? So it was a bit brash of me and whatever. But the reason I brought it up isn't because I'm defending any of those actions or anything. It's because one of Paul's Ego's followers then completely took everything I'd said out of context. Let me read. Obviously, I've explained to you that situation as best I can now, and she put, where is it? She put in quotes as if she's speaking for me. If you don't agree with me and hold exactly the same opinions as I do on everything, you lose my respect. Neat. Like, complete bullshit, because I've never claimed anything like that. And then that got, God, how many people it's been liked and favorited and retweeted by 7 other people have liked it. Fuck knows. 3 other people have liked it in another one, so it's been retweeted a couple of times, including Drunken Peasants themselves have liked a comment that came up in this argument. Obviously, on Twitter, I'm trying to defend myself, and Paul's Ego deleted my comments. So, completely taking every comment that is left there out of context by deleting all the others. So, I'm a bit sad about that. Just thought, while we're doing nothing else, I'd mention it. Sorry, Paul. I didn't mean to upset you that much. I did have a lot of respect for you. That's slowly waning, sadly.
Yeah, what the fuck? Hey, if... fuck emotional attachment to fucking anything. Paul's Ego, you should know better. I don't care if he fucking says this or not, but seriously, how the fuck could you get so fucking affected at that? It's fucking fatuous. That's all I gotta say. That's fucking retarded.
It really, and the sad part is that if the other fan hadn't joined in, I think I'd got through to Paul that that's not what I was saying at all. He liked one of my comments that came almost immediately after. He liked it in such a way that it said to me, okay, water under the bridge, I took that the wrong way, I understand where you're coming from. But then because of this one particular fan totally taking me out of context, and then Paul, siding with her and supporting this absolutely false claim, basically, now obviously somebody as huge as DP liking comments, totally stabbing at me for no reason. So it's a bit of a shit situation. And yeah, I agree, Darren. I think Paul really should know better, to be honest. I am sorry that I offended you, Paul. But yeah, Darren's right. You should fucking get over yourself. Just fucking take it for what it was. Don't bully people. And I never intended to upset anyone. I was just like pointing out my shock at the fact that Paul's ego was suddenly sucking the bum hole of Devon Tracy. But anyway, like I say, that's my story. That was yesterday, actually. All that went down.
So I was gonna bring up what the fuck happened with the friendly atheist that fucking was apparently hypocritical.
Okay, so a while back now, when the Paris attacks happened, I'm just scrolling through my subscriptions. I'm never going to find it that way. I've got to find the friendly atheist to see when he posted it. But basically, on YouTube, he posted a video, and obviously I've had him on Facebook for quite a while. Not that I usually do that with people I watch on YouTube. I think I found him on Facebook before I found him on YouTube, and that's why I happen to be I have his page on Facebook. And I noticed this video, and it was the friendly atheist, who for some reason I can't fucking find now. He was basically defending the Pray for Paris idea. So we all know the Paris attacks happened, and then afterwards a lot of Christians started hashtagging Pray for Paris, and a lot of atheists and other people came out and said, that's absolutely useless, and basically started attacking those people for doing nothing. You know what I mean? For clickbait, basically, isn't it? If somebody's hashtagging Pray for Paris, they're looking for followers. They want something that they've said to be seen, and so you can see it that way. But he came out and he was saying, look, don't attack these people. They really don't know what else to do, and we're sending our thoughts to Paris in the same way as they're hashtagging Pray for Paris. We're all in this together. Just leave them alone. Don't have a go at them, kind of thing, right? I thought, fair enough, respect. He's called the friendly atheist. He's taken a very political kind of approach to it. I clicked onto Facebook just absent-mindedly, not in any related way whatsoever. Bear in mind, this video had literally only been posted within the last 24 hours at this stage. And there was a post from the friendly atheist right there with thousands and thousands of likes saying Pray for Paris does nothing, you're wasting your time, basically attacking the idea of Pray for Paris. So if that's not hypocritical, I don't know what is. Out of one side of his mouth on YouTube is telling all those followers, leave these guys alone, there's nothing wrong with Pray for Paris. And then on Facebook he's saying the exact opposite, I can't find the video. It was sad.
What can you do? That's like fucking. I want to be the only one who's making this point, so everyone else shut up, whilst I get my shit together, so I can speak it like I was the one who made that fucking shit up.
Yeah.
I say fuck that. Whoever's like that is a complete nutter fucking cunt, because they're like halting ideas from coming out earlier, which basically is beneficial for any sort of growth or knowledge gaining or whatever the fuck. Seriously. Honestly, if you're somebody who does that, you're an absolute cunt. Flat out. Shut up.
Keeping it all back just for the money. Okay, well, this guy releases so many videos, I have no chance of finding it. They're all just the exact same fucking thumbnail as well. Every one of them's a picture of his ugly fucking face.
Oh god.
You know what I mean, though? It's impossible to. I can't scroll through so many pictures of his little face staring at me. No, sod that. Have we got the videos working yet?
No, apparently YouTube, the YouTube app doesn't work in Hangouts on Air.
Fucking hell.
It works on regular Hangouts, but not this one. So, fuck.
Fun times. We're really doing well with this.
Make the change to OBS.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's actually a really good idea, but
We've all got OBS right now, haven't we? Because I've got it. I'm sat here looking at it.
You know, I actually don't have OBS. I'll look into it.
It's free, so.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Do you need a decent computer to work OBS?
I wouldn't have said so. I mean, my computer's not exactly, you know, it's not a graphically built computer or anything like that, and I get a clean 30 frames per second out of it.
Wait, is that based on like the cameras and all that shit?
Yeah, you know, it's your graphical processing speed, basically.
I've got a GTX 780 and I barely cuts 30 frames per second on my fucking Logitech webcam. That's grainy as fuck. I don't understand. I think it has something more to do with the whole CPU and the whole, like, I've got 8 cores of fucking AMD shittery, like.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what's going on with your webcam, but if you've got a decent graphics card, then you should be able to use OBS and stream videos without any problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have a graphics card in my laptop.
Nor do I, but like I say, I still manage 30 frames a second.
Yeah.
Johnny, I think you have an echo.
I do have an echo. I don't really know what to do about that. The reason that I bought this microphone was just specifically so that I wouldn't ever get an echo. I'll just
I think it's gone. Oh.
Yeah. Okay, good. So, Happy New Year. What happened to you guys over the New Year?
I got wasted.
Nice.
Yeah, I pretty much just sat around looking at fireworks, eating fajitas.
Oh, show off.
Yeah.
Fajitas.
Like, yeah, no booze or alcohol or party. We just sat around, got fat.
Well, I went to visit my dad, and we had some really terrible weather. So I've got a short story about the events that transpired on my journey. Obviously, the majority of it's not interesting to anyone. The trains were cancelled, and there was a lot of buses and change stations, etc. The journey was supposed to take 2 hours, but it ended up taking 6. So I was on the train for a long time, and eventually, going from Leeds, my train was cancelled because of the weather. The river had overflowed into the train tracks, so there was no trains going down that track, and I was forced to go to Bradford interchange. So it was like a round circular route. I don't know if you guys, being foreigners, know very much at all about Bradford, but obviously in England, Bradford's well known as Braddistan. It's a population. It's a high density of Muslims. Do you know what I mean? Like,
something like Dearborn, Michigan.
I wouldn't know in America, but maybe.
Dearborn has got like the highest concentration of Muslims in America.
Okay, well, yeah, it would be the English equivalent then.
It's also a suburb of probably one of the worst cities in America, Detroit.
Right, yeah, everyone knows of Detroit. That's quite famous. So yeah, I'm on the train, and I turned around and happened to glance at a particular bench. Now, obviously, on a train, you've got two sets of 2 seats. If you get what I mean, you've got a pair of seats, and then an aisle, and then a pair of seats, right? And from left to right, it was an Asian, a white woman, a Russian girl, and a black woman. It was fantastic, so multicultural. Do you know what I mean? It really brought a smile to my face to see them all just sat next to each other like that. And then, as we approached the station, somebody got a phone call.
Comment.
What? Sorry?
I was trying to think of a really racist comment, but I couldn't think of one quick enough, so I just said really racist comment.
Well, keep thinking. It's not over yet. So then somebody got a phone call, and a rumor spread around the carriage that Bradford Interchange Station had been closed due to a bomb threat.
Oh my god.
Yeah. It was literally the next station. The train was still going, but the station itself had been totally evacuated. Darren causes echo.
I think that's his shit now.
Yeah, you can definitely tell.
Stupid fucking Aussie. He's Australian, right?
New Zealand, I believe. Don't quote me on that. I think New Zealand.
Nah, I think he is Australian.
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 That's not a knife.
Everything Australia is trying to kill you. Especially marauding bands of
Ants.
motor.
Honestly, the ants are the worst.
Australia has ants?
Yeah, jumping jack ants, mate. They've got like the worst ants you've ever heard of.
What? Jumping jack.
Jumping jack ants, right? Let me tell you about jumping jack ants. In fact, let Darren tell you about jumping jack ants.
You what?
Do you know about jumping jack ants? They live in your back garden.
Jumpy jack ants.
Yeah.
Oh, have I got stories for you?
Please.
I don't have a fucking story to tell you.
Oh.
I have no idea what they are.
Right, so...
I thought you were in Australia. Everything's trying to kill you.
That's seriously not the case. I honestly hate the whole Australian stereotype. I hate my Australian accent. I hate living in Australia. I'm pretty much like secluded from all that bullshit. Fuck, it's not like living out in the bush. Let me assure you of that. It's basically like this south of the equator's version of Mexico, basically.
Really?
That's what Australia is. Really.
So you guys have roving drug lords?
Weed, yeah. When it comes to weed, yes, we do. Except they're
man.
called bikies.
Why am I over here?
Bike.
Get your ass over here.
Oh my god.
Oh, yeah.
You guys really are prepared for a Mad Max wasteland.
Trust me, we're too laid back for that shit. We're honestly too stupid and laid back for that. Most of our populations, most of the time, is stoned out of our minds.
Oh, get me over there. I always wanted to visit Melbourne.
There's nothing much to Melbourne.
Really?
I'll tell you that.
Honestly, the main reason that I wanted to go is because it's the travel hotspot and it's like cheap for travellers to stay.
Hey Darren, I think it's your laptop that's echoing.
Echo.
Try.
Echo. Yeah, I think it worked.
Sick.
Is it echoing?
Yeah, I don't hear an echo no more.
I can't hear it.
That's the main thing.
Oh yeah. All right. How about speaking about some atheist stuff?
Okay.
Right.
Well, since we couldn't watch those videos, that's kind of shit on things.
Oh yeah.
What was it? Oh! What are some of the most irritating Christian arguments you've heard? Because I got a couple that just drive me fucking insane. Like, okay, here's two that I've come across.
Oh, I've won a quid. Sorry, carry on.
Yeah, these are two. Here's two that I've come across. Number one, the Bible says you would be an atheist, so the Bible's correct.
Oh god, yeah, that is awful.
Yeah. And the second one is like, oh, you're just drunk on the world. You're
What?
asleep.
Right.
I can understand how the first one works if you're, especially if you're a complete retard. But I don't I don't know. Understand the second one, the drunk on the world argument.
It's projection, isn't it?
I've never heard a
Yeah.
Christian use that argument before, to be honest.
What?
The drunk on the world. Like, who's told you that?
Will of God.
Really?
Yeah. He's been posting a whole lot of memes on Google Plus, and I've been responding to pretty much every single one of them because they all just irritate the fuck out of me. I mean, they're like, oh, disgusting to see. I wish I could show you some of these, except this pansy just deleted all of them.
Of course, because they're retarded. So, Johnny, what about yours?
I once had a friend at school and I asked him why he believed in God, and he said because 2 million Christians can't possibly be wrong. It just totally flabbergasted me.
Wait a minute, did he say 2 million or 2 billion?
Well, God knows, mate. We're going back 16 years, but whatever he said, you know what I mean? The point is still the same, isn't it?
Yes. Well, one point is slightly dumber than the other.
Well, yeah, fair, but I mean, you know, talk about argument ad populum, but at the time, obviously, I didn't know anything about fallacies. I didn't know the right language, so I just sat there gobsmacked. And one time at work, a kid came over to me and he said, do you know why I believe in God? Just completely out of nowhere. I didn't ask him why I believed in God or anything. He just came up to me and said, do you know why I believe in God? So I was like, well, no, obviously I don't. He said, because, right now, this is really going to take me a little bit of working out because I'm still confused as to how he got from where he started to God. But anyway, he said, we exist right now, the present exists, therefore time cannot possibly be infinite, because if time was infinite, then this moment couldn't happen because there were so many other moments or something. He had some mad logical way of saying that if time didn't have a beginning or and an ending, then it couldn't be happening right now. It was really mad. And then he said, therefore existence has a God, existence has a beginning, therefore God. And he walked away with a smile on his face, like he'd triumphantly beaten some argument that I'd never even brought to the table. It was very odd. Go.
Yeah.
That's like terrible.
It was odd. Like I say, I'm struggling to remember his exact words, but you get the gist, don't you? You understand where he was coming.
It sounds like he's trying to come up with some highfalutin physicist argument, except he probably doesn't know jack shit about it, so he's just pulling shit out of his ass.
Yeah, he was just a fat kid that came out of nowhere. I was working in a factory at the time, right? So, you know, in a factory, it's a big building. There's a hell of a lot of people that you don't know. And I'd probably worked with the kid like twice and maybe had 3 lines of conversation with him before this point, you know. So that one flabbergasted me as well. They're probably my least 2 favourite. Darren, your turn.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why, but I imagined, the kid being a really fat kid.
Right. Works.
Probably a neckbeard too.
Yeah. By now he would be a neckbeard.
God, why, Darren? Why'd you wink?
You know why.
God, you're like the perfect creeper.
Oh, yeah. You know it, babe.
Anyway, Darren, what's your least favorite Christian argument?
Okay, so mine may be a little bit more intricate. Who's this new Tommy guy?
St. Tommy.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Good people, what's up?
Howdy.
So we're in the middle of... Sorry, I was going to explain it to you. We're in the middle of basically discussing our least favorite Christian arguments. And basically, so I was in the middle of mine. Mine was basically what is generally the most incongruous and incoherent, like, ramblings that lead to an infinite regression argument, which is basically saying, well, what caused that, and what caused that, what caused that, etc., etc., and it just... It's
Yeah.
very, very tedious to work with. And that's probably my least favorite because it just lasts too long and doesn't get to the point. It halts the progression of an argument and a debate.
So they basically ask you, how do you know, until you can't answer, and then say, therefore God done did it.
Exactly.
Sometimes I do that, sometimes I don't.
Yeah.
Well, the dumb motherfuckers do it to spread negative vision and invite other peeps, good people, to see themselves negatively. And it sucks dick in a bad way to me. Excuse my lewdness. But
We're much worse.
It smells like rotten cabbage, you know, and it's downright untruthful. It's fucking horrible, man. Such negative vision. All in the name of love and God.
Yeah.
And slavery.
So what would be your least favorite arguments from Christians or any other religious groups?
It's I'm a piece of shit and you're a piece of shit too. That's the basic heart of it that I hear out of good peeps who happen to hold belief in Christ himself or in Christianity or what the fuck ever. They say, I'm a piece of shit and I feel horrible about it, and you should too. Fuck that, I say. I smell it, and I've spotted it over the years, man. It's stanky.
Yeah.
No, it's true, man. That is Ray Comfort, innit, basically.
Yeah. Bunch of fucking guilt. You know, these peeps feel like they're not good. They really feel like they are somehow corrupt. And I don't hear them saying that, hey, our sin is forgiven. Don't fucking worry about it. I don't hear them say that. I hear them say, we're pieces of shit. I feel bad about my little behaviors. And you should too. Oh.
It brings us a really...
Have you guys seen that Facebook post where Ray Comfort says he would, like, murder his children if God said to?
Yeah.
Damn. That fella trusts his brain pretty damn much, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Man. If God showed up and did some requesting like that, man, I'd be looking for some antipsychotic medicine. You know? I'd be saying, get back.
Oh my God! I remember another Facebook post this guy made. Like, someone asked him, what would happen if someone proved to you conclusively that there is no God and that evolution is true, and yada yada yada?
You said something like, I'd ask God.
Yeah, he would ask God for guidance.
Yeah.
It's like this dumb motherfucker didn't even read the question.
It's not really that.
I bet he'd get a hooker. I bet he ain't been laid in a long time. Poor fucker.
Oh man, I think this guy does swim in pussy. I think this guy, you know that, like, every one of these Christian preachers and whatnot are a bunch of fucking hypocrites.
Yeah, hell yeah, they get laid and they do little naughty things because they got balls. But after they
crack off a hooker's ass,
after they do it, they feel terrible about it, and they fucking get on their little bloody knees and grovel for forgiveness they already have, and they just feel terrible, so terrible about it. Feel like shit for an adequate amount of time until they get to feel better and holy again. And then they go around fucking pointing fingers at other joyous children who are getting laid, having a good, beautiful time, and pointing fingers at others for what they themselves hate themselves because they kind of like. It's not hard to figure out. Bunch of hypocrisy. Sad. It's very sad.
You bring up...
Very much like the whole reform vodka kind of syndrome, where basically someone who stops smoking does a hypocritical thing and judges those who smoked before him, although he was the one who made that decision in the first place to start smoking, so he has no position to speak.
It gets worse. If I have to get up at 8 o'clock every day, you should too. If I am afraid, you should be also. If I feel like shit for being just a good human being with balls, you should feel like shit too. It gets worse, man. It's worse.
Yeah.
Envy gets mixed in there. Envy of fearlessness. You know,
Yeah.
fuck a bunch of fear. Fuck a bunch of fear in the name of love. Yeah.
You know, one of the best feelings in the world is overcoming fear. I absolutely love facing fears down. You know, but no, you bring up a really good point that I'd like to touch on, which is the fact that if we already have forgiveness, why the fuck do we have to praise some kind of God being? You know what I mean?
Hey,
Like,
technically speaking, all requirements have been met. We
exactly.
have to make a decision. We don't have to accept do diddly. We don't have to think religiously. We can just be. We can.
Exactly.
It's okay.
It's a universal statement, isn't it? We're either all saved or none of us are. You know what I mean? By Jesus, I mean, like by His own words, the way it was written.
It says, it is written, if I must be a Bible thumper, please brace for impact, Christ Jesus, the Savior of all men, especially of those who believe. You know? So, dear God, man, being religious is a treacherous fucking thing, especially to do in public, you know? To lay one's own perceptions of reality on somebody else, you know? It's just a heavy fucking thing to do, especially at a good dance, you know? When everybody's having a good time, just let everybody party, baby.
Like I was just saying earlier before you popped in, I tend to get it at places like school and work, you know, like people just come over to you at places where you've got to be there, and you're kind of stuck in that situation, and the next thing you know, some idiot's coming over talking to you about their interpretation of reality. It's just like, well, I'd rather get on with my work, actually, mate. You know what I mean?
They're driven individuals, driven. They're in the throes of a compulsion, you know, some type of mandatory, obligatory reason. They feel like they have to save the world. Oh my God, I gotta save these people. Oh my God. It's pretty sad. Hey, thank you for your hospitality, good neighbors. Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Oh, I like that guy.
Short and sweet.
Very good. So who was that guy in the first place?
St. Tommy, one of the guys I follow. I think he's pretty cool.
Yeah.
How'd you meet?
Various hangouts that I just join in. I mean, it's how I met you guys.
That's true.
That's
We all met
right.
in the Hangouts.
Oh my God! Oh, that reminds me. I still want to get another crack at Darwin's.
Oh, bring him onto the show.
I already invited that cunt.
Fucking hell, man. I don't know if I could stand listening to a word out of his mouth. Like every time he tried to talk, I'd probably mute my microphone because I know exactly what he's gonna say. You know, you only have to hear it once. Fucking.
Sounds awfully a lot like William Lane Craig. He's basically the he's very comparable to that fucking kid who espouses what's it Republican fucking shit on this like sort of radio show where he's basically copying some other Republican who's like way older than him, trying to adopt that voice. Yeah, Caden Cowgirl. So that fucking retard who basically that is literally what Darwin's deity is. Like, who was Caden Cowgirl trying to copy again?
Rush Limbaugh.
Yeah, how is what Rush Limbaugh to Caden Cowgirl is literally what William Lane Craig is to Darwin's deity. Let me assure you of that. He tries to mimic him in every single way, shape, and form. Darwin's deity uses every single fucking type of, like, he tries his best to make the same philosophical arguments, but if it falls flat, it makes no sense. Why do you assert facts when they're facts? That's the kind of shit you can expect from a moron.
The thing that he doesn't seem to understand is that, like, everybody's already heard William Lane Craig's argument, obviously, because he's quite famous, and therefore it's been debunked, like, at least 10 times over before anyone even meets Darwin's deity. You know what I mean? Everyone knows the answers to these things because someone famous has already said it and it's already been debunked.
Yeah, but flat Earth theory was debunked some 3,000 years ago, but you still have people pushing it.
There's some truth there. There's a rock somewhere. It's written on a rock. It says, not in English, obviously. It's very, very, very old. It says, the world must be round because that's the only way to explain why you can see further distances from the top of a mountain. And it's written years before even the concept that people, believed that the world was flat. Like that particular book that I believe is about Christopher Columbus is based on fiction. It's just pure fiction. It was not commonly held belief in that era that the world was flat at all. It had already been proven round.
Yeah, why else would anyone fund an expedition, that would more than likely send them over the edge of the world?
Exactly. It just wouldn't happen, would it? Who's funding that shit?
It was a king and queen of Spain, I believe.
What, that funded somebody to try and commit suicide by driving a boat to the world?
I'm pretty sure it was the king and queen of Spain.
Yeah, that funded the actual trip, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's about right. I mean, it's all quite Greek round there, I imagine. They were probably, light years ahead of the rest of the world at that time.
Yeah. I know for a fact that I think it was the Ionian Greeks, but it was the ancient Greeks that not only found out that the Earth was round, they calculated within 1% margin of error the actual size of the Earth.
Yeah, I mean, that's maths for you. The absolute power of the predictable power of maths. I'll try that again. The predictable power of mathematics.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and that's a beautiful example of a theory has to have predictive capability.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you have a theory, you have all your equations and whatnot, and if it makes a prediction and it turns out true, then it's a robust theory. What can we learn from a flat Earth theory? Nothing.
Well, if it was true, that's fine, but they don't have a theory. That's the problem. They call it the flat Earth theory, but it's such a layman's use of the word theory. It makes them sound like they've got more credit than they actually do.
Yeah, it's more of a claim it's not even a hypothesis.
Not really. It's more like the flat Earth idea.
Yeah, flat Earth claim that I just farted out.
Yeah, exactly.
Can't stand people who espouse that like it's fact when they themselves just assert it without any evidence. They literally just say, well, from my personal experience and from my limited wisdom, oh, I'm a maths genius, by the way, I got an A in this fucking class or some shit like that, and therefore that means that he's a fucking scientist better than fucking Richard Dawkins. And that's what they tend to fucking compare themselves to. Compare themselves to scientists who aren't even in the same field as those who do things in the fucking geographical kind of topic.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of impertinent bullshit. True empiricism. True impertinence.
It's the Dunning-Kruger effect, isn't it? Dunning-Kruger.
So,
well, what is that, by the way, the Dunning-Kruger effect?
I have just Wikipedia'd it because I knew somebody would want a description, but it's a perfect example. I mean, it's a perfect description of what we're talking about. Dunning-Kruger attributes, basically there's a bias in your brain, so people who have no skill in an area, they do not recognize their own ineptitude, if you see what I mean. Everybody believes they're an expert. Well, not everybody, but the Dunning-Kruger effect is that somebody would believe themselves an expert until they're actually shown the field. So you might believe you're like a top scientist until someone actually puts some science in front of you and you see what it entails, and then suddenly you realize how ridiculous your earlier claims were. Really hard to explain.
No, I understand you. I reckon I used to have that kind of bullshit, like where I was asserting certain things that I literally had not one inkling or
Right.
one even sentiments. Like I had no clue what I was talking about. I was opining short of certainty when it came to certain subjects. Say, for instance, like with evolution, with all that kind of stuff in the past. And then I changed because you know what? I grew a brain.
Exactly.
Seems with these religious peoples, they don't change. They just pretend they're scientists and they don't fucking change up their arguments when they are argued against. And they act like their arguments haven't been debunked when they obviously have. Not just obviously been, but like literally. They've been proven in front of them, to them directly, that these arguments do not work, and yet they persist so pertinaciously, like they are some sort of top-notch scientists with this fucking gospel-like breakthrough.
Exactly.
G-Man.
No, that's a perfect example, really.
Yeah, that was just screaming G-Man right there.
I mean, you know, none of us are perfect. I'm pretty sure that at some point in our lives, everybody has probably experienced some form of the Dunning-Kruger effect. I thought I was amazing on a skateboard just because I was brilliant at Tony Hawk's 1, 2, and 3, and then I actually bought a skateboard and nearly broke my leg. You know, it's just we all do these things, but like you said, most of us grow up, grow a brain. We might be a little bit embarrassed, but you know, we'll accept with humility that we were wrong, and then we'll go out and learn the truth and try again. You know.
Yeah, I used to have that problem when it came to with gun control arguments. Then I realized half of my arguments were like full of shit.
Yeah, gun control's a really good controversial direction that you could take it in. To be fair.
Yeah, because mind you, I am pro-gun, but I do realize that there are problems with guns in America.
I've got a bow and arrow.
Oh, are you trying to go vegan gains on us?
No, I genuinely just have a bow and arrow. How about yourself, Darren? How do you defend yourself in a gunless country?
My fists.
Yeah. No hunting knives.
He's Australian, so that's enough.
Right. Well, hang on. I'll just show you a tiny selection of my weapon collection. Sorry, I got naked because it's quite warm in here.
That's awesome. Yeah, but yeah, I got a lever action shotgun.
Thing is, if you have guns legalized, doesn't that just make it easier, and the whole it just makes it easier for criminals to get their hands on guns, because people who aren't criminals quite obviously are not gonna really have this urge to buy guns, if you know what I mean. So why do we have guns legalized in America?
Well, my personal feeling is, guns. The guns, they really don't. If I see guns the same way as the drug arguments. If you ban drugs, people will still be using drugs, and if you ban drugs, you'll be just pushing it underground. I have a similar feeling with it when it comes with guns.
You see, the thing about that is, just a sec. The thing about that is, it makes it more difficult. Of course, it still happens, but nowhere near does it occur as much as it would do as if it was legalized. So if you do make guns illegal for the general populace, what happens is it becomes less and less the case. If you there'll be less cases of shootings if you do that. I mean, look at the amazing drop from, say, in Australia, for example, where I live, my home place, this fucking shithole. So, and yet it's doing better than America when it comes to fucking mass shootings and shit like that. But that all happened because we literally went full out and we banned guns after a fucking massacre, and I mean a super massacre happened somewhere in like I think Sydney or something like that. It happened quite a while ago, and we just said fuck that, we ban guns, and so we did. And guess what? Our fucking crime rates having to do with getting shot, killed by guns or anything like that went down. They plummeted.
Well,
Now, if America did that,
well, in my opinion, you know,
Sorry.
if you're determined enough to get a gun to a country and shoot a lot of people, even if they ban guns, you can still do it. I mean, the Paris attacks are a good example.
No, they're not. They're a terrible example for a pro-gun. That's awful. Like, we've got gun crime in England so vastly, dramatically. There's a side of it that you're not even really considering, and that's the fact that if anybody can carry a gun, so every point that a crime is committed. But if guns are illegal, then anybody caught with a gun is already breaking the law. Do you see what I mean? Police can catch the criminals before a crime's taken place simply by catching them with a gun on them in their possession. You see where I'm coming from?
Yeah, but you can do the same thing with drugs or really fast cars or shit like that.
What?
I mean, you do know that, you know, bootleggers used to hot rod their cars way back when to escape police.
Okay, wow, there's so many people dying from drugs getting into your country. Oh, so scared of all the drugs shooting innocent people from across the room. Innocent people that are just trying to do the shopping, and they're getting shot with all these drugs.
You do know that there are people who are dying because the drugs are illegal, right? You know, Mexican drug cartels, the Colombian drug cartels. I mean, they're practically, you know, their own armies.
No, you're totally right. And what they do is they go into shopping centres and they inject everybody that they see with heroin and crack. They just walk around injecting innocent victims in a line, you know, just like a bullet would go through innocent victims in a line.
They don't. Oh my god.
Okay, the point that I'm making is that if you want to go overdose on drugs, then go overdose on drugs. You're not hurting anybody but yourself. If you want to go buy a gun and shoot up a store, or even buy a gun and try to defend the innocent people, if the Paris attacks had happened in America and everybody had whipped the gun out and tried to shoot the gunman, everybody would have thought the other person was the gunman. There would have been one person that came out like with a gun in the hand, like, I shot the bad guy. He killed everyone else first, but I shot him eventually.
Well, that's because most of America's a bunch of dumb, fat rednecks.
Yeah, that's the point that I'm making. Do you really want to give dumb, fat rednecks guns legally? Is that a good idea? I got a gun. Ka-ching, check it out. It's one of them type. It's not a real gun. No, I know where you're coming from.
I got several guns around my house. So a lot of them can do quite a bit of damage if I decided to go on a killing spree.
Right, that's a really good thing that's illegal.
Yeah.
I can see a lot of positives with having the ability to go around killing people. There is one pro-gun claim that I've heard. There was a cop pulled over an old nana on the side of the road. He asked her for ID, and she presented him with a concealed carry permit. And he turned around and he said, "Have you got a gun in your car right now?" And she said, "Yeah, I've got 3," and explained where they were. And he looked at her and he said, "Well, what are you afraid of?" And she looked him dead in the eyes and said, "Not a fucking thing." Because for old people, I mean, there is some claim that, you know, firearms are probably a good thing in the way that they would help them feel safe, where old people are much more vulnerable. than the rest of us. So unlike Darren, for example, you know, an old nana isn't exactly going to be able to do much in a fist fight. This is my bow, by the way. I would definitely use that in an apocalyptic situation. That's a bow. Yeah, who needs a gun when you've got actual skills? This is a staff. It's a white wax staff that I'm never going to be able to fit in the screen. But that's a Japanese white wax staff. And then these are my nunchucks. Yeah, I'm tooled up, motherfucker. Oh yeah, almost forgot.
Yeah, I'd much rather have a shotgun instead of those.
Oh well, that's a shame because obviously, if we got into a conflict, if I won, I might go down for GBH. But if you won, you'd get sent down for murder. So think that through before you pull your shotgun out.
Hey, if I'm doing it self-defense, I can get I want to go to jail.
Let me bring something up right here. According to the statistics of the drugbase.gov of the USA, deaths from drug overdoses in 2014, which reached a sky high total of 25,000 deaths in the year from overdoses of drugs. Let's just compare that to the gun deaths in America in basically every single year. Just a median, not a median, a mean number of deaths per year that are caused by guns, which is more than 30,000 people which are killed by by firearms each year, which is more than 30 people shot and murdered each day. So if we consider that and compare that to drugs,
2/3 of those are suicides.
Okay. Whoa. You can't start bringing that kind of shit into it, though. Are you saying that 2/3 of the gun deaths are suicides? Is that what you just said?
That's a fact.
Okay, and you're not comparing that to the amount of people that are killing themselves with drugs and not other people? Like every single fucking one of them. Nobody's going into a store and injecting an innocent girl in the arm with enough heroin to overdose her. However, there are people committing shootings and shooting little girls and killing them. That's happening. Every single death, almost every one of those deaths that are by drug overdoses, whether purposefully or not, is a suicide. You can't. That's just unbelievable.
So what, Matt? What exactly is your foundation for thinking? For believing that guns should still be legal in America. What exactly is the foundation of it?
Because I believe that just simply banning guns is like just a band-aid on the actual problem. The actual problem is our shitty socioeconomic situation.
Yep.
You know, the what's it? Oh God, I forget the. Well. Oh God damn! I forgot. What's that word I was trying to think of?
England has the same system as America virtually. They are comparable systems.
Yeah, but we got like way more crime than you guys.
Ooh, I wonder why. You've got guns legalized. Okay, so the question.
No, because we have drugs illegal. We have.
Hello. I'm sat here skinning up a joint. As we're speaking right now, I'm sat here skinning up a joint.
Yeah.
Look, I'll prove it to you. That's marijuana. Yeah, in my grinder. Can you see that? That's green. Most of it's gone through to the bottom.
Ah. Okay.
Most of it hasn't.
But yeah.
Okay. So we have drugs, right? I can prove it.
Well, I mean,
Citation.
you're gonna find drugs everywhere. You can't possibly ban drugs completely.
Right. Okay. So we've established that, right?
But
So we're back to the beginning now. To the
But
point
yeah,
that I made was the
but
point that I made was that
America
England.
has like a really shitty social welfare system. Uh, the
Hey Darren, how's your social welfare system over there in Australia?
It's probably just the same as England's or America's.
Yeah.
Probably, it's most likely pretty evenly matched with everything else. It's just as equally shitty as anything else.
yeah,
I
I
would
heard
suggest
the
that
conservatives are taking over your country.
they've already got ours.
It fucking sucks.
David Cameron managed to get hold of England a while ago. That's conservative, isn't it? I don't
Yeah. But you know, compare most of Western Europe with that has really good social welfare systems, good health care.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
oh, improved standard of living. That was the phrase I was looking for. Standard of living.
Standard of living.
Yeah. Plus, they don't have their jobs being shipped overseas.
Oh, right.
Their wages.
Yeah, that didn't happen to my dad.
Huh?
I say that didn't happen to my dad. My dad didn't lose his job because it got shipped overseas. Oh wait, no, it did happen to my dad. Because it does still happen over here. In countries where we're pretty much the same as you, but we just don't have guns.
No, there's quite a bit of difference between Europe and America.
Okay.
Yeah, because we got a whole bunch of libertarian conservatives.
Libertarian conservative. Carry on. Sorry, I am listening.
Who scream small government. When it comes to social welfare, and well, pretty much every aspect of life except for giving subsidies to big corporations. That's when they love big government.
So therefore guns.
No, oh my God, fuck you.
I'm just trying to understand. I'm trying to understand, man.
I got something. Sorry. I was just going to say that I've got to leave because I'm super tired, beyond my mind. But I want to leave you with subjects to talk about, which is controlled gun, selling. Same thing with selling drugs and all that stuff. From the government, say for instance the way cigarettes are sold, they're regulated selling guns. How about that? And then the next
I agree
topic
with that.
Yes, so you would
feminism. Discuss that, motherfuckers.
Oh
I'm
my
out.
God. What you're saying is, see you later, dude. Nice to see you.
See you later, Darren.
So yeah, what you're saying is that you wouldn't mind heavier restrictions of said firearms.
Yeah. I am not a total libertarian.
I don't know what that means. You're not talking to an American here. You're talking to a member of the world. Can you talk in non-American terms? What the fuck is a libertarian?
Okay, you know what authoritarian is, right?
Nope. But I'm assuming with the word authority in there, it's either somebody who loves authority or somebody who thinks they are in charge.
Okay. Okay. The difference between, let's say, an extreme authoritarian would be like something like Adolf Hitler, during Nazi Germany, strict control by the government.
Dictator, right? With you.
Yeah, an extreme libertarian would be like a super anarchist.
Communist.
No,
right,
not communist. Anarchist.
Okay, yeah, I'm with you. Yeah. Somebody who says that everybody lives in a law upon themselves, unto themselves, basically.
Yeah.
That's fair. Okay, yeah. I'm with you. I'm getting there. So what you're saying is that you appreciate the fact that in close-knit societies there is a need for rules that everybody should follow, but you believe that you would say you're libertarian enough that you believe everybody is responsible to make the choice for themselves whether they should own a firearm or not. Is that basically what we're saying?
No.
Oh, okay, carry on then.
Um, uh, I I believe in the right to bear arms, but with the caveat that you demonstrate that you're responsible enough to use and operate that firearm.
Do you think it makes the police's job easier or harder if the average member of public would be walking around with a loaded firearm?
Most people don't, but you know, I really don't see how it makes it any more difficult. It's just
Do you think that they might fear for their lives more?
cops fear for their lives anyway. They'll shoot a 12-year-old, 2 seconds after seeing them.
Okay. Do you think that happens in England?
Well, of course not. You guys don't have armed police,
Guns.
or at least
No. We do. We have special squads of armed police, but that's exactly the reason we don't need armed police, because there are no armed civilians. From time to time, the regular police.
Well, most civilians, right now are not armed.
Yeah. Okay. I appreciate where you're coming from, but
It's guns aren't just
everywhere.
scary, force thing that turns the common average everyday civilian to a foaming at the mouth mass shooter.
That's great telling me that, but can you convince the police of that when they're going through years of training, being told that it's the police versus the civilians, and you've really got to watch each other and protect each other because anybody could get shot at any time.
That's a problem with police culture in itself.
Well, yes, it is, and we still have the same police culture over here in England, but they don't have the guns to worry about. They're not fearing.
No, you guys have a way different police culture.
Do you think so? Do you want me to send you a couple of videos in your own time that you can watch of the police kicking 7 balls of shit out of people in the streets? Do you want me to? I've got compilation videos.
I can show you. I can show you dozens of police videos of police abusing their power, shooting unarmed people, strangling an unarmed man to death.
I've seen them.
On the streets of New York.
I've seen them. I've got Cop Block on my Facebook. I watch Cop Block all the time.
Yeah.
I keep an eye on what's going on over there.
Our police culture, especially since 9/11, has gone batshit fucking insane.
So do you know what 7/7 is? You know what 9/11 is? I know what 9/11 is. Do you know what 7/7 is?
No, I'm afraid I don't.
No, because America's very insular, so that's why I asked the question that way, is because I genuinely did not expect an American to know that we were also bombed. The tube stations, we were bombed twice. Once on 7/7 and then
I heard about the
on 7/12. Yeah, well, it happened twice. Once on 7/7 and then once again on 7/12, I believe it was, which was obviously only 5 days later. And I had a friend who was very close to getting killed there. But the point that I'm making is absolutely not about the bombings. It's about the fact that this terrorism fear thing that made America feel so insular affected the whole entire Western world. Since then there've been other terrorist attacks in other countries, and obviously Spain and places like that have been dealing with terrorism for a lot longer. Really major attacks for a lot longer than either America or England have had what we would call major terrorist incidents. Do you know what I mean? As much as your police stepped up the game after 9/11, our police stepped up the game quite dramatically after 7/7. The laws in England changed in such a way that if you break any law in England, any single law, you are defined under the law as a terrorist. And this gives the power to the police to completely at a whim, anybody that they want to call a terrorist, they can search you without due cause or anything like that for acting suspicious, which was also part of the new terrorist laws. And they can have people sent out of the country. What do they call that? I've forgotten. They can have you deported. Yeah, they can have you deported from the country, basically for videotaping a television channel that has copyright and then maybe loaning it to your friend. Or for me, sitting here with this joint in my hand right now, they could call me a terrorist and have me deported from they're not going to, because obviously I was born here, but if I wasn't born here, they would very much take advantage of those rules. Do you know what I mean? It's just as bad in England, and don't let anybody tell you that, you know, America's this place where everything's all just, it's this way because it's America. It's not. Look at all the other countries. Don't just compare yourself to countries and that have got a much higher, you know, health, whatever you said, I've forgotten the terminology, but don't just compare yourself to the absolute best. Look around at people that are on a similar level to America, like Australia and like England and like Paris to some extent, and say, well, you know, there's not much difference there. But one major difference that there is that you can put your finger on is that we don't have guns. And in England, obviously, we've gone one step further. We're not allowed knives that are longer than 4 inches long. Did you know that?
I heard about that.
Because in the 90s, especially in the mid 90s, there was a really heavy knife culture, to the point very similar to America. Your grandma would have a knife, your little sister would have a
But
knife.
isn't that kind of silly that you just, you know, you have a rash of problems and you just ban the object that being used
This is the
completely,
thing.
because completely ignoring the
The
underlying
problem.
problems.
Well, the thing is, it does help the problem to cure itself in a way, because if a knife longer than 4 inches long is illegal to carry, less people are likely to carry them. So in a situation where I would normally typically have my knife and I get accosted by 3 people, they no longer have their knives and I no longer have mine. Now, even if they do still have theirs and I do end up being fatally stabbed, they're then looking at a serious criminal offense, whereas before they could possibly have got away with self-defense because it was accepted that everybody had a knife. Maybe I pulled mine first. They've got 2 witnesses to say that I pulled my knife first. You see what I mean? It's a much more nuanced situation. And yeah, when knives were banned, I was on the front lines saying this is absolutely ridiculous because the bad people will still have knives and the good people will no longer be able to defend themselves or even feel confident, because even just having that knife in your hand, same as having a gun in a hip belt, it just gives you so much more confidence, especially for somebody. I did spend a couple of years in a mildly agoraphobic state just because I was very scared of the fact that I lived in a town where my accent apparently infuriated people. It's kind of like being a minority, you know what I mean? Like I didn't have a different color skin to these people, but I was very clearly an outsider, and so I used to get attacked quite a bit, which led to agoraphobia. And the fact that I didn't have my knife meant that I didn't feel confident walking the streets and whatever. But the fact that, you know, my own personal experience is completely knocked out of the water by the actual statistics. Like what actually happened was knife crime went down dramatically. Nowadays, people don't even consider it an issue. Do you know what I mean? People still have knives, and people, especially in places like London and Birmingham and the big cities, still have guns. There's still gangs running around shooting people. It does still happen. But these people are much, much easier to find and convict. The weapons are so much easier to trace back. Do you know what I mean? Like, it just makes everybody's life so much easier and therefore so much safer. It feels backwards. I know it does. When they banned knives, I genuinely thought it was the most stupid thing in the world. But like I say, I was proved wrong. The statistics proved me wrong. So I don't know what to say, really. I'm with you. If it was up to me, I'd say give everybody in the world a gun, but it doesn't work like that, does it?
That's not what I say.
No, I know. I know that's not what you say because you're much more nuanced on the situation, but I agree with you to the point that I personally do not think there should be a problem with people owning weapons. But as that particular comedian I always forget the name of once famously said, something about the average IQ, take the average IQ and then realize that half the people are even stupider than that. Something along their lines, in it. And it's so true. Sadly, people are not responsible. You know, I personally, I would ban cars. before I banned guns, because I think cars are a much more dangerous weapon than guns are. But I'd ban both.
Oh my, you know, I had that thought floating in my head for like forever now.
It's true. It's true, because anybody can get a driver's license and none of them pay the fuck attention, and they all think that they own the road. It's the most dangerous thing I've ever seen in my entire life. None of them have got lethal weapon permits. None of them even seem to acknowledge that they're driving around in a lethal weapon. I hate vehicles. I mean, not on a racetrack, obviously. That's where they should belong. Racing rocks.
Yeah, 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 like vehicles are responsible for like double the number of deaths that guns are.
Yeah. And again, it's stupid people. You know, there's too many stupid people. We've just got to face the reality that people are not responsible. You know?
Yeah, which is why you set up, you know, standards and regulations to prevent the stupid people from, you know, accessing dangerous weapons like cars or guns.
Yeah, it'd be nice, wouldn't it? I mean, in an ideal situation, the restrictions would obviously be perfect, and the system would be unbeatable in such a way that the wrong type of people could never get hold of anything lethal that they're going to use with ill intent. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, the world is never going to work like that. You've got to remember that even if one state bans guns completely, somebody can just cross a fucking border and get a gun and
Well,
bring it straight back.
the real problem is that you just have two extremes on the side that just never want to compromise. You have
Yeah.
one side that wants to absolutely utterly ban guns. You have one side that's, you know, absolutely utterly make guns completely unregulated.
I wonder how much of it is propaganda perpetrated by the opposition. You know what I mean? Like, one of them saying, "I want to regulate guns," and then the other one goes away saying, "Oh, they want to regulate guns. They want to completely restrict guns, and they want to over-regulate guns." And then they go back and they're like, "They don't want any regulation whatsoever on guns."
Yeah.
Actually, neither one of them.
We we as a species need to learn how to compromise. You know, yeah, yeah. We
You'd
just need
hope.
to learn how to compromise for
You'd
once.
hope that. I mean, after however
Uh,
many thousands of years we've been here, I can't believe it's not happening more regularly than it is. You know, we've got the fucking internet, for God's sake. Why can we not get together and learn about each other, understand each other's cultures, and like compromise? You know?
that sounds like damn commie liberal hippie bullshit.
You know what? As the words came out,
That's the type of reaction you'll get from
yeah.
most of the people in America.
Literally, as the words were coming out of my mouth, it was like, "Oh, might as well just shut up, Johnny. You're gonna get quote mined." Yeah, I sure as hell sounded like a communist just then. God damn it. No, you know as well as I do that the world is a very strange place. I've found that the best way through it is to just be realistic about what you're going to face
And
rather than try change it.
preferably heavily medicated.
Yeah, just try to understand it and sit back with a joint in your mouth and just say whatever. You go do that then, that's fine. Leave me alone. There's a God, all right, there's a God. Go have your God, go be nice. Oh,
Yeah.
ban guns, all right, go ban guns, go do that. Right, here's a compromise, right? Why don't we just do the Donald Trump thing, right?
Oh my God.
Build walls, right? We'll build shitloads of walls, and then there can be like a door in each wall, and next to it can be like a rule board. And it's like, if you want to live in this wall, then you're allowed guns and this and that and the other. Do you know what I mean? If you want to live behind this wall over here, then there's no guns. Do you know what I mean? What's wrong with that? Why can't we just segregate
For a second, I thought you could actually come up with a serious, and then as soon as Donald Trump left your mouth, oh my God.
No, I did for a while think that a really good idea in England, for example, would be, you know, like the ban on smoking. I thought, why can't the south of England ban smoking, and then anybody who wants to smoke can move to the north, and anybody who's really that offended can move to the south. And sadly, I realised that people have things like family and friends for some fucking reason. So whatever.
Goddamn human necessities.
I know. Tell me about it. Fucking human interactions. Just why even? It is sad. It's a nuanced old world. The town that I'm currently staying in just got voted the worst town to live in England.
Holy shit.
Yeah, yeah. Everybody obviously kicked off on Facebook. There was some people saying, yeah, it is, it's a shithole, and then there were others saying it's not that bad, comparing it to Africa, saying like, at least we've got running water. That's
I live in Houston, which is a pretty shitty town.
yeah.
But at least we're better than Detroit.
That's it, innit?
Like,
Everybody can at least look somewhere else.
Like every other city in America can at least say,
Yeah.
at least we're better than Detroit.
Yeah, no shit, yeah. That's the way it works. Everybody in England apparently looks at us like, at least we're better than them.
You know, my dad grew up in Detroit, Michigan, back when it was a city worth a shit.
Oh, mate, bless him. He doesn't go visit anymore, does he? It just upset him.
He hasn't been there in like decades.
It's funny how that works, isn't it? Like, obviously, coming from Yorkshire, whenever I go back there, I've always got my memories, my childhood memories. But, you know, it seems so far apart from the town that I'm looking at now. I mean, even the old house that I grew up in looks totally different. You know, my street looks different. I hardly recognize the school. You know, strange things that seem so permanent in my mind, and then yet when you go see them in real life, they've changed so much. You know.
Yeah.
You sound tired. How long have we been on this anyway? How long have I been chatting shit?
About an hour and a half.
That's not bad.
Yeah, and I actually just woke up. I was
Really?
going to go shotgun shooting this afternoon with my friend, but it was raining.
Oh, that sucks, man. I hate when the
Yeah.
weather gets in the way of sports.
Yeah.
What do you shoot? Is it alive or inanimate?
We were going to head to our local high school. I mean,
Good idea. Why not?
we were going to head to the hand trap range. You know, throw some clay pigeons in the air and shoot them
Cool.
down.
Yeah, they do that kind of thing in the fields around here because like all the farmers obviously all have rifles, shotguns, and shit. Farmers are still allowed. Farmers are allowed chemicals to make bombs. They're allowed guns. They're allowed fucking everything. So
Yeah,
there's a bit.
yeah. I'd be scared of the farmers.
Yeah, no shit.
They could rise up and cause a lot of damage.
Yeah, man. If you really want to cause a revolution, get the farmers on your side, mate, because they could do a lot of damage.
Yeah, I mean, they use a fucking explosive as a fertilizer.
Yeah, man. Apparently, one of the key ingredients in said explosive fertilizer is human feces. So there you go. That's one I learned off YouTube. Now, it is information off YouTube.
Yeah, that's bullshit. All you need is ammonia nitrate and diesel fuel.
Yeah, but can't you extract ammonia nitrate from human feces? I don't know. It was something that I saw about The Martian. You know the film The Martian?
Okay.
Because he uses human fertilizer.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not going to give anything away that's spoiler. I would have said spoiler alert.
It's not the spoilers that concern me. It's the fact that he's using shit.
Yeah, but the program that I was watching was like, is this real? Could this possibly happen? And then they were like, well, yeah, actually, it happens on Earth all the time. Farmers are buying your shit in large quantities from companies and using it as fertilizer. So, like I say, it's a fact off YouTube. I haven't independently verified it, but it's there now. It's out in the ether. You can all go do your own research and come back to me and tell me if it's shit, if I'm talking shit about the shit situation or not.
Wow. So many uses for the word shit.
Shit, man. Oh, language, isn't it a funny old thing? It is definitely tea time for me, man. I am freaking starving. Like, that is so rare. Those words coming out of my mouth is so rare. You should feel privileged. But I'm gonna have to get off soon, I think.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'm getting I'm getting a bit restless. I'm gonna head out and stuff my face with some good old American fast food.
Show off. I would like
Yeah.
something big, fat, and greasy
Yeah.
right about
Yeah.
now.
Just fill my arteries with pure concentrated fat.
Are you up for another one same time next week? Or
Maybe not next week, depending on my, bipolar work schedule.
I see. Well, you'll have to keep in touch and let me know when it is then. And try and get the videos fixed for next time.
Yeah, I'll try.
That was a
Later.
disappointment.
Yeah. I had like 4 good ones that would have been perfect.
Are they still going to be relevant in a week or so?
They'll always be relevant.
Oh, good. That's good then. Keep them in the queue.
Okay, well, shutting off the broadcast. Ah!
Take it easy. Bye, everybody.
Bye.